Red 2 standing by, all 4 lit, and in the green. Welcome back to Metroid Prime, where we're heading off to get a brand new piece of equipment in the depths of the Chozo ruins. We do have to do a little bit of work to get there, but fortunately should go pretty smoothly. Admittedly, I do have to deal with some of the irritations regardless, so I think it's just better to get this over and done with. If things go a little bit iffy for the moment as far as movement goes, it's because the new controllers ran out of batteries and didn't charge up properly for whatever reason, so I'm stuck using the old ones. Which is a right royal pain in the backside, but we shall persevere. I nearly fell off. So we need to make our way up to the furnace, where we got an energy tank so long ago. We are able to go through there now that we have the spider ball. And we'll be able to get a few little goodies along the way and also deal with one of the most irritating adversaries in the game. Also, if you do want to track down Shriek Bats, remember, you've got the thermal visor by this point. Makes things very handy, but we're about to face an enemy that will just drive us nuts. Down we go and up we go. You'll have to be very quick getting over here, but you have just enough time to get over. And avoid all the beetles. Now, annoying as they can be, you're going to miss them. I bet you. You will absolutely miss them when the new enemies wind up coming into this area. Because they are right royal pains in the backside. We can grab a new scan entry here. Whoop. Either side. There is what I'm looking for. Plated Parasite. Hardy member of the Parasite family. Invulnerable to most weaponry. A cousin to the Parasite, these creatures are known for their amazing resilience. Field studies suggest a weakness to Morph Ball delivered weapon systems. So you'll encounter a few of those. We have Bendizium portion of the floor is weak, which is a bit of a bother. There is a missile expansion up there, but we can't do anything about it just yet. We can grab this. What is this otherworldly pestilence that infests the land, seeking out life in its blind need for corruption? That wouldn't come until 2007. And where did the meteor that brought it originate? Was it crafted by alien hands, or is it a roving chunk of a planet that suffered a violent end? Our minds quail in horror at the thought that long ago, in some corner of the universe as yet unseen by our eyes, an entire planet was perhaps once coated with this great poison. Whatever cataclysm may have ruptured that doomed place must have been mighty indeed. And if other meteors from it spread through space, bearing this evil to the far corners of the universe, we hold fast to the hope that this is not so, that the only surviving remnants of this evil are here on Talon 4. Then, at least, there is hope for its eradication. Of course, you would find out that there are meteors actually being launched, but that's another story for another time for a game I don't actually own. We go through the Morph Ball tunnel, and we're deep into the ruins. The music changes a little bit too. So we do need our wave beam for this. And we've got plenty of lore and a big half pipe. Stick the landing and more exposition. To the Entrusted One, if you read these words, then our hope has not been in vain. Your path is fraught with danger. Monstrosities beyond description lurk in the shadows. Starving, hunting for prey. Searching for ways to quench the poisonous urges that bloom in their brains. Some of these are shrewd, but they are blinded by their evil designs, believing in the black promise of the great poison. They seek to harness it for their own ends. It is these last that are the greatest danger. When you rid the universe of these creatures, you will be the true entrusted one. So it seems like the Chozo did know the space pirates rocked up here. They must have been here for some time. Or the Chozo have left very recently. None know if our temple, the Cradle, will prove powerful enough to contain this evil forever. For now, it wraps around that abomination, cutting it off from the world above. However, we believe the power of Cypher, which has been produced by linking the 12 artifacts, should be strong enough, and if it's not, then it can always steal more Pokemon. The fate of this world is now left to the one who will collect all the artifacts in the future. The time when the entrusted one knows is approaching. Well, they're pumping up my tires at least.
Recorded to logbook.
Many Chozo are gifted with the distant sight, and even more begin to learn it as our harmonization with the universe becomes more and more complete. We peer forward, seeing prophecy in the ripples of the water, hearing rumours of coming days on the breath of the wind. Though we celebrate the distant sight, many of these visions are dark. The worst of the prophecies, and the most common, tells of the coming of the worm. Born from parasites, nurtured in a poisoned womb, the worm grows, devouring from within until the world begins to rot. Not all prophecies come to pass, of course, but we cannot help but fear this dark portent. Now, we can wind up going on from here, but we want to get our power beam, blow that up, and scan this. We don't need to actually shoot anything with the wave beam. So, more half-pipe work. Use our boost ball and... almost there. There we go. Jump up and activate this, and we'll activate the other path in here. That didn't go as smoothly as I hoped, which is a little sad. Oh, the camera changed on me at the last. That's rough. Also slightly weird. I mean, come on, this isn't a Mario game or some other 3D platformer. So just go in there, and the timer doesn't really trouble you because scuttle along and get our missile expansion. And we can now proceed to the next area, which, as I said, is going to be a right pain in the arse. Hang on, can we don't get to scan those. They're just here and they just look really nice. Oh well, nice little bit of decorative detail. We can clear our way through these as usual. And go through here and get ready for bother. So, there's something in the hands of that statue, and it's going to be annoying, and you're going to have to put up with it for a long time throughout this area. It's not even particularly challenging, it's just a right pain in the butt. Identified as statue of a Chozo Elder. According to Chozo lore, these statues served as the watchful guardians of tombs and shrines. Its outstretched hands are empty as if awaiting an offering. So, we'll have to sort that out. We walk into the room. And we get the "this is a frightening enemy" theme because we meet Aberration, Chozo Ghost. Spectral entity, bioelectric field invulnerable to natural energies. Which means you can't use the wave beam, you can't use the ice beam that we're about to get, and you can't use the plasma beam. As these entities phase in and out of existence, the only way to track them accurately is with X-ray scanning, which we will get later. This partially phased nature makes them invulnerable to natural energy types such as fire, ice, and electricity. Their aggressive and erratic behaviour is most likely due to the corrupting effects of Phazon in the Talon 4 environment. They appear to be drawn to Chozo religious sites where they wreak havoc upon anything that dares enter the area. So, as you can see, they appear and disappear, and you have to work out where in blazes they've gone. And I recommend you putting a super missile into them as quickly as possible. A super missile and a charge beam will take care of them. And they generally give you jack all.
Doors unlocked.
So, you won't have to fight that Chozo ghost that unlocks the doors in here. You will, however, be stuck fighting 3 of them, and you have to come back here quite a bit. They suck, mostly because they're just bothersome, really just bothersome and pestilential. They don't stop harassing you. They're annoying to fight, even with the X-ray visor, and they're just there to harass you. Anyway, grab this scan, by the way. It is a missile station. Step into these stations to fully reload your missile launcher. If you've played Super, you'll know about these. And variants of them appeared in Metroid 2. Alright, missiles fully replenished. That's all that's in here. So, what we want to do is ball. I mean, B-A-double-L. The Chozo ghosts will probably make you want to cry from how irritating they are and how constant they are. But we go up here and we activate this. So, each of those will enable us to open a new pathway. Whoops. Because we actually get the ice beam so soon, you will want to come back here. So, our first one is, of course, the wave beam. Now, it's quite understandable for people to think you need all 3 beams to actually activate the puzzle in here, but thankfully you don't. There's just one puzzle for each particular beam. Also, speaking of not forgetting things, where is it? Right there!
Recorded to logbook.
Things bound to earthly shapes are temporal and frail. Existing in a single dimension, they are fragile, vulnerable, and ultimately mortal. However, not all things obey this law. Shapeless. They wait beyond the realm of perception, emerging only when one arrives who can feel their presence. Such is the will of the Chozo. Our will to defeat the evil seeping into this planet remains. We desire only to see the darkness meet its end. The will of the Chozo has no mind or reasoning of its own, though. This will be the entrusted one's trial. So yeah, basically the Chozo ghosts are trying to beat the crap out of us because they don't recognize us as Samus. They just recognize us as somebody who is mucking around. Okay, that counted. Somebody who is mucking around in their home and somebody who has to die or else they will die.
You must die!
So we zip off that way, and this is the only reason we need the wave beam in this room. So they're powered up again. Roll along here. And now we can get our scan visor and shut down that safety shield. Use caution near window. So you can jump up here from that room. Also, if you're wondering what those things are, they are radiation collectors, designed to absorb and store solar energy. They appear largely decorative. Useful but decorative, basically. So, on we go a little further, just a little further. Into the reflecting pool. Drainage shut off holding, maintaining the water level of the reflecting pool at 95%. We have stone toads. We have doors that we will need to open with our missiles. This, bomb it, because it's actually made of telluric alloy. And unfortunately all the fish get sucked down the drain. Poor fish. So now that we've drained the water, so this side is a save station. Pop in there if you need to. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the room, I didn't think I was going to make that. But what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold! Lock and load for our brand new weapon, the usual Metroid killer. So, use down on the C-stick to switch to the ice beam. It can open white doors. The ice beam is the slowest of all beams to fire, but it generally freezes things. You can then shatter most enemies with a missile. And when you charge it up, that looks awesome. I was going to say it looks cool, but of course it does. It's ice. So, now we want to function uninterrupted here. Which means, also, we don't have the ability to activate that statue just yet, because the Chozo goes to mucking around in here. So, we actually do have to fight the sods most of the time. Don't worry about... Jerks. So, don't worry about putting a super missile into them. I think it's the reason they actually put the missile recharge station in here. Because they know you want to blast the daylights out of them, and super missiles are simply the most efficient way of dealing with them. Like I said, you have to come back here a couple more times, and they are every bit as bothersome. So I'm only coming back here when I've got the X-ray visor so I can track them down. But yeah, the game basically encourages you. You know what? Charge up your missiles. Use your super missiles. I don't think regular missiles hurt them. Just beat the crap out of them. You can top up your missiles later. So, if we do use the ice beam, we get a new path opening up for more Chozo bowling. It's not quite the same as the one in Super Metroid, but it still allows us to roll around, probably not at the speed of sound. So, but this one does actually go bowling with us compared to the one in Super Metroid, which doesn't actually bowl. So, going through here gives us an energy tank. Particularly useful. So, if you want to go through those doors, I'll quickly show you where to go, because if I go only one room away, the enemies won't respawn. So, this links us back to the furnace. And this winds up linking us to the crossway. But we don't need to worry about that. See, we haven't gone far enough, so no irritating ghosts. And you can just jump through here. Now, we've got a couple of places we can go to. We want to go to the far end of the reflecting pool. Now, somewhat annoyingly, you can't stand on the heads of the stone toads and just jump up. It's a bit annoying. But we'll get back up again. Oh, stuck it. Very nice. So I think we need to go this way first. Because we'll actually... I think we can get a couple of items. Or at least we get a preview of where we need to go, because this takes us to the Talon Overworld South. And yes, I'm perfectly aware I called it Talon 4 sometimes. The whole planet's Talon 4. Look, what do you expect? I just wind up sticking with whatever flows best. Even if I can be very pedantic on other things. Alright, so through here... Alright, so we took care of that one. So, demonstration. Freeze and destroy. You can jump over here to get a little preview of where to go next. And the music for the area will change to the Talon Overworld Depths theme. Which I don't like as much as the original, but what are you going to do? This is still very well regarded though. So, if we go through here, we cannot proceed because this rock is weakened by water and Bendesium is involved. Still, you walk out and just wow. Even just rock faces covered in moss look beautiful, and this, the detail. Now, speaking of finding details, stick my landing here. You might notice that there is another door in this room. Now, pay attention, 007. Sometimes, so right here, if you look very closely, you might notice that my shots are stopping a little early because you can see raindrops. We're on an invisible platform. Normally you'd need the X-ray visor. Can I make it? Yes! So that just gets you a missile. There's nothing trapping you in here. But if you are observant, you can see where invisible platforms are because that's actually realistic. They're invisible, but they're not intangible. A very nice touch. Now, if we wander down here, we'll note that this gate can be retracted, but the controls are on the other side, so we can't do anything in this area just yet. It was mostly getting that missile expansion early and showing off that I'm occasionally a clever Claus. Of course, I will probably wind up doing something really, several reallys dumb. But on we go. So we want to go back to the save station because there is actually a path behind it. No more worrying about the stupid Chozo ghosts for now. We will have to deal with them again. We go through here and we get a different elevator to a different part of Talon 4. Talon Overworld. See, I told you I'd do it again. I mean, it's technically a different part of Talon 4, but it's also, importantly, a part of the Talon Overworld. So, back down here. Through we go. Now, interesting to note, we can't freeze gamers. We just have to pop them with a missile. We do have to be careful of the blast caps in this area too. But if we go through here, we've got some venom weeds and a missile expansion. Switch to the power beam and get rid of as many as we can. And if they pop up quickly, use the boost to get through. And we're going to have to deal with flying pirates too. So, word of warning, the ice beam is probably not very good against aerial enemies because it's slow. So, we can get up here. We are actually right near the crashed frigate. So you know how the reactor core for the Orpheon, which is the name of that frigate, you can die, blew up at the beginning of the game? That's where we are. We are ready to walk into the frigate Orpheon and explore its wreckage. But there's a bit of a problem. If we do go in there, we will actually wind up running into a bit of a problem. I'll show you what it is, because we can at least get something coming here. Because it's fairly understandable that you might want to keep going. But yeah, problem is we're underwater, and you know what water means in Metroid games. So the place is an absolute wreck, as you might expect. That's slightly dirty, Paul, I'll admit. Now, we'll need to use our thermal visor to find the way through here. Which is right there. One more doorway, and do be on the lookout for a couple of scans in here. So, they're not parasites, they are, again, palette swaps, Talon crab, crustacean native of Talon 4. Hard-shelled swarm lifeform. Once harvested for food, exposure to Phazon has seen this practice diminish. Creatures are timid and harmless alone, but can be a problem when travelling in swarms. So, even in space, we still have crabs. We have that fascinating concept of carcinization. Crustaceans have a tendency to evolve into life forms resembling crab shapes. I don't know why. Sods didn't even give me anything but gunge on my visor. How rude. So we push our way through this watery environment. Forcibly. Into the damaged reactor core, where we can encounter a new adversary. Well, two maybe. Okay, so we have a gel zap. I remember when I was younger I thought it was a jet zap. Aquatic predator made of electrically bound skeletal halves. The gel zap's brain is located in the upper half of its body, while the heart and digestive tract occupy the lower half. Linked only by electrical impulses, the two halves somehow function effectively enough to launch the gel zap to the top of Talon 4's aquatic food chain. Okay, so obviously the aqua pirates aren't here yet. Because yes, you do fight aquatic equipped space pirates. Oh, and we can get this too. This is the Aqua Reaper. Powerful aquatic tentacle, part of a submerged organism. Similar in nature to the surface-based Reaper vine, the Aqua Reaper has adapted to a liquid environment. It shares the poor vision of its rock-dwelling cousin, relying on a crude sonar sense to seek prey. Unhindered by water, the Aqua Reaper has considerable speed and strength. Now, to find our way through here, we need our wave beam, which I had right the first time. So we are moving very, very slowly through the water. So we got those down here. What is that? Oh, wait, hang on. So there's the gel zap, but it's just a random school of fish. Okay, so I need my regular vision back, and then I think we have to make our way just up a bit. So you can defeat gel zaps using your wave beam. But I think you can also use missiles. So you can just wind up proceeding through here. Yep, missiles do work. Such a beautiful area. The music is wonderful and it's just haunting in a sense. Just going through this abandoned ruin. So we've opened the door. Goodo. Now we do need to keep going because I just want to show off what happens. I'm being a little bit stubborn. I normally wouldn't do this because I know where to go. You've also got a save station here because the original save station is indeed active. So we open this door. And we can go here to the crashed lift. However, we can't do anything. We can't jump high enough. But we can destroy that for an energy tank, which is why I brought you here. You can also do something smarter and just get it when you're supposed to come through here. But the more kit we've got, the better. Now, let's head on out, and I will see you back at the landing site. The door is going to open, right? Thank you. And thank you very much for joining me. Till next time, this is Red 2, returning to base. Slowly. Oh! Before I go, we do have a new logbook entry. This is the 10 rounds of ammo missile pickup. Very handy to have.